So I read this book that completely changed my view of kindness. So I wanted to share with you 21 quotes from that book. The first quote is, "The world will always treat you better if you treat it better. It's just a fact. You know, when you go out into the world, you can either be a positive influence or a negative influence. And your choice in attitude will affect how other people treat you." Next quote is, "Don't be sorry for being nice. Being kind is not a mistake." In our society, we often say things like, "Oh, you're such a sucker," or "You're so naive," when someone is kind to others. But the truth is, being kind is not a weakness, it is strength. The next quote is, "Be more interested than interesting." Now, one of the best ways to show kindness is to genuinely be interested in another person, to listen to them, to care about what they have to say. The next quote is, "If you want to make friends, be friendly." This is just common sense. If you want to make friends, don't just sit around waiting for people to become friends with you. Go out and be friendly yourself. The next quote is, "Make time for important people." Too often, we let life get in the way of relationships and friendships. But we need to make time for the important people in our lives. Otherwise, those relationships will eventually fade away. The next quote is, "A little consideration, a little care, can go a long way." Oftentimes, all someone needs is just a little bit of kindness. Maybe they're having a bad day, or maybe they're going through something difficult. But when you show them a little kindness, it can brighten their day and make a real difference in their life. The next quote is, "Choose to be kind no matter what." We all have the ability to choose our attitude. We can choose to be kind even when others are not being kind to us. Remember, revenge is never the answer. Be the bigger person. Be kind. The next quote is, "A true friend is someone who thinks that you are a good person, even when you feel like you aren't." Friends are supposed to help us become better people. They're supposed to see the good in us, even when we don't see it ourselves. The next quote is, "It is never too late to apologize." We've all said things we regret. We've all done things we're ashamed of. But the best thing to do in those situations is to apologize. Apologize sincerely and then try to make amends. The next quote is, "Never keep a tally of who is right and who is wrong." When someone wrongs you, don't keep track of it. Don't hold it against them. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has faults. The best thing to do is to forgive them and move on. The next quote is, "Be loyal." True friends stand by each other through thick and thin. Friendships are built on trust, loyalty, and honesty. Stand by your friends, support them, and be there for them no matter what. The next quote is, "Help others without expecting anything in return." The best type of giving is giving without expecting anything in return. When you help someone because you want to help them, not because you want something in return, that is the highest form of giving. The next quote is, "Be selfless." Selflessness is the ultimate form of kindness. When you put the needs of others before your own, that is the greatest act of kindness. The next quote is, "Treat others the way you want to be treated." This is the golden rule that we were all taught as children. And yet, most of us still don't follow it. When you treat others the way you want to be treated, you will create a ripple effect of kindness in the world. The next quote is, "Don't judge others." Judging others is never okay. We are all sinners. We all make mistakes. The best thing to do is to forgive others and to try to understand where they were coming from. The next quote is, "Stop being envious of others." Envy is a destructive emotion that can eat away at your soul. Instead of focusing on what other people have, focus on what you have. Be grateful for what you have, and then use that as a foundation to build on. The next quote is, "Accept people for who they are." Trying to change people is never a good idea. The best thing to do is to accept them for who they are and to love them unconditionally. The next quote is, "Love others. Love is the greatest commandment of all. When you love others, you show them kindness. You show them compassion. You show them empathy." The next quote is, "Show gratitude. Gratitude is an attitude that can make a real difference in your life. When you show gratitude for what you have, you will have a more positive outlook on life. You will be more resilient in the face of adversity, and you will be more likely to succeed in everything you do." The next quote is, "Practice random acts of kindness. Random acts of kindness can make someone's day. It doesn't have to be anything major. It could be something as simple as paying for someone's coffee, or leaving a positive review for a business. Just find ways to spread kindness whenever you can." The next quote is, "Believe in others. Believing in others is one of the best ways to show them kindness. When you believe in someone, you give them the confidence to believe in themselves." The next quote is, "Forgive easily. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. When you hold on to grudges and resentment, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgive easily and you will see how much better your life will be." And finally, the last quote is, "Be humble enough to admit when you're wrong and have the courage to apologize. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes. But it takes a strong person to admit their mistakes. It takes a humble person to apologize for their mistakes. And it takes a kind person to forgive others for their mistakes." There you have it. 21 powerful quotes about the importance of kindness. Kindness is the most powerful force on earth. It has the power to change lives, to heal broken relationships, and to make the world a better place. So I encourage you to read this book and to share these quotes with others. Thanks for watching.